So today I'm here to educate you about the Boundary Waters canoe area in northern Minnesota. Boundary Waters canoe area is just over 1 million acres of wilderness of canoeing and camping in northern Minnesota that begs to be explored. Boundary Waters canoe area, or BWCA, holds a rich beauty that is just a paddle away. Boundary Waters is 1,700 square miles that holds a vital piece of Minnesota's history. The call of the Voyager has long been in the heart of explorers, from the 1800 fur traders to modern day adventurers to corporate profiteers. First, I'd like to talk about the history of the Boundary Waters. The first explorers of this wilderness were the Sioux people, who eventually gave way to fur trade in the 17 and 1800s. Prior to the Sioux, after the Sioux, the Ojibwe populated it. And then after the Ojibwe, fur traders from England and France, known as voyagers, moved through to trap beaver and hunt moose and caribou. The voyagers would come out of the Missouri River Valley through the Laurentian Divide through the Boundary Waters and up to the Hudson Bay. Some of the evidence we have of the fur trade and of the Ojibwe are pictographs that can be found within the Boundary Waters. Today's Boundary Waters are not much different than the Ojibwe found it years ago. The modern day Boundary Waters canoe area wilderness has 1 million acres of charted and accessible wilderness. Camping, canoeing, fishing, and hiking are some of the things that can be found in the Boundary Waters. Some history of the Boundary Waters begins with Minnesota getting its statehood in 1858. The Boundary Waters was called the Superior Roadless Area starting in 1926, and the BWCA Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness officially got its name and was recognized as a national wilderness in 1958. It is the largest wilderness east of the Mississippi. One can't talk about the Boundary Waters without talking about Dorothy Moulter. Dorothy was the last residence to hold a permanent residence in the Boundary Waters up until December of 1986, and she sold root beer to provide money for herself and buy supplies. Some legend has it that she was able to keep ice cold up until August by cutting it out of the lakes and burying it in an underground shelter, and she kept that ice to keep root beer cold for paddlers that would paddle their way through. One of the things that you want to talk about when talking about the Boundary Waters is portaging. Portaging means that you have to carry everything on your back to get into the Boundary Waters. The Boundary Waters doesn't allow motorized vehicles or boats within its boundaries. And like the voyagers of hundreds of years ago, modern day travelers carry canoes and everything on their back to provide for their sustenance while they're in, or they can fish. So what does tomorrow hold for our local wilderness? The future of the Boundary Waters depends on conservation efforts. There are mining companies in northern Minnesota that have grants to do mining in northern Minnesota right now. Some of those mines will be underground, and some of the concern is for pollution. So to summarize, from the 1700s till now, the Boundary Waters hasn't changed much. The Boundary Waters holds a vast beauty that calls to the voyager in all of us. And while the BWCA holds a vital piece of Minnesota history and gives its visitors memorable adventures, Minnesotans across the state should take great care to preserve its wonder for generations to come.